Hi, thank you for coming to my channel. I'm Kei from the Galactic Federation Lightworker School. Today, I would like to introduce you to Indigo children, Starseeds by generations. I'm not talking about which planet you are from, you may be related. So it's like categorized by generations, not by planet. This is the second generation. The first one, after the World War II, there were some Starseeds before that as well. I'm talking about especially the Starseeds after the World War II. So the first wave, sent over here as the first starseed after the World War II were awakened right after the World War II. They were called blue ray starseeds. And then the second generation was born about from 1975 to about 1999. And then these Indigo children, they, their operation system is completely different from the blue-ray starseeds, especially the first blue-ray starseeds, the first half of the blue-ray. So their main, mission is to identify old patterns and change old patterns to renew it to something new, something more functional. So their, mission is to upgrade anything, everything, system-wise, society-wise, custom-wise, way of thinking, way of behavior, way of interactions, the way, interacting, among family members and organizations. Then there are two types or two patterns of indigo children, but this is the generic overall pattern and their, like mission. Then they are very much influenced by environment and food they eat because they are quite sensitive and they are very intuitive. Then, and at the same time, they are very gentle at the core. Their, core energy is very gentle. But if they are wounded or if they are not developed yet, that's a different story. Then, issue of indigo children overall is because they are young and then they don't have experiences and they don't have wisdoms and skills and knowledge to how to make something old and to make it new, how to remodel, how to update it, how to reconstruct, and then how to rebuild it because they simply don't have experiences. Then, in order to rebuild something new or upgrade it, they need to learn from the older generation, Blu-ray generation, how they were building things or making things, even though that may not be perfect, how they were struggling to make something, especially right after the war, nothing was available. There was a scarcity of everything, food and material and money and infrastructure and everything. But they did, make something, out of whatever, available material there at that time. That was the time very different from now because everything is available. Especially if you go onto the internet, eBay or Amazon, you can find really anything you want to have. But, like 40, 50 years ago, that wasn't the case, unfortunately. So you need to understand older generation created something, out of that, out of whatever available material and system at that time. So, they did their best. Then, the fact, one type of indigo children is, egocentric, and they are more destroyer type rather than, creator. They are more arrogant. They are more self-confident, even they don't have any experiences, knowledge, and skills. They don't listen to older generation. They don't understand the background, how things and the system were created, and why it was made that way. What was the limit, and then what was the struggle, for the older generation to create that way. They just see things only from their point of view. They are very, very self-centered, and they are very much, I am number one. Everything else is secondary. So very arrogant. Then they don't really appreciate things were made, out of the best practice at that time, because there was a limitation before, but they don't understand that because they can't see, from other, from other point of view. So they are just criticizing others. They are just, blaming other people because they think they are number one. Their way is the only way. Their way is the highway. Then, if this is the case, they're not going to be able to fit in a society because no one wants to deal with, person, who is very critical or who's blaming, who doesn't take any responsibility. So they're not going to be able to be welcomed into the society. They're not going to be able to build a healthy, loving, mutually, understanding, supportive relationship and friendship. So eventually they are going to be ousted and they're going to be, become lonely, and, no one is going to love that person. So, that's the danger of the, that negative aspect of indigo children. If they are not developing their, personalities and their characteristics yet. And then they need to, cultivate their, personalities more, and, listen to other people and how things are made and why things are made that way, because there should be always a reason. So, self-centeredness and the I am number one attitude or narcissistic attitude should be, noticed and be aware of, and then, needed to be transmuted to something more, mutually lovable and harmonious, and then, yeah, mutated more to the light. Then, if indigo children, they can, they cultivate their personalities, and then they, try to understand other people. They try to put themselves into other people's shoes, and they listen to older generation. They listen to other people, why, things are made that way, why things were, built that way, why, there is, customs and the system that way, and what was the limitation. And if they understand these and try to understand other people and then the system, keyword I am telling you now is with number one, respect to other people. Number two, with that humbleness. Number three, with that harmonious, supportive, cooperative, collaborative attitude. Then this type of indigo children who has this pattern is going to be able to perform their mission. Otherwise, they would be in a self-indulgence. They are, very self-centered, egoistical, and their number one attitude very narcissistic. So Indigo children should understand because of the older generations or ancestors or anyone above them, older than them, created something even though it may not be perfect. Because of that, this system is, the world is functioning with, so many things available instantly, 24/7. And, like clean water is coming out of the tap, and then you can sleep under the roof, and then you can have whatever the food you want to have because, food is available if you go to shop and supermarket. But think about it. Right after right after the World War II, nothing was available. Buildings, houses were all destroyed by bombs, and then it was burned. People, so many people died. Food wasn't available. Water wasn't available. House was destroyed. So you needed to rebuild everything. So all of this done by the older generations, including Blu-ray. So you can't, just say, oh, it doesn't work. It's just too old. You just need to appreciate what they made, as an effort and what they created, even though you don't like it, because, nothing is perfect. Then if you understand what is working, even though that system may be old or, generated or created like 40, 50 years ago. For example, I'm living in the building, not the building, but in the house, the flat building. It was created long time ago, like in about 50 years ago. It's very solid. It's a purpose built and it's so solid. It's quiet, even though some things are not perfect because insulation is not good because it was built like 50, 60 years ago. Insulation system wasn't, was different from the current insulation. So I hear still noises, noise from my neighbor, but not that much. And then condensation happens, but still, if I do a bit of a ventilation, condensation can be reduced. So nothing is perfect, but because it was built long time ago, the benefit of this building is solid. Okay, so this is just an example. Even if it is old, there is something good about this. And I am, like telling you, just as an example, this is solid. Okay, so yeah, the key point for the Indigo Children's generation is to listen to other people with a humbleness and learn from other people without an attitude of I am number one, narcissistic attitude, because Indigo Children has a mission to distract old patterns, dysfunctional ones, and recreate something with the cooperation of the older generation, create something new, update, the old one to more functional, stuff. So you can't build anything just by yourself. You need to learn the, older generations' wisdoms and experiences, knowledge and skills. Absorb these and collaborating with the older generation. If you do, then you can create something, more functional, updated, modern one. So here, what you need is a very humble attitude. And you need to be very empathetic and you need to be really understanding without a number one attitude and narcissistic attitude and arrogance. Then, and number three, you need to also have some respect to the people, especially older people or older system. Even though it may not be perfect, it's still functioning. And then, something needs to be just and then, modified to make it better. So you can't, make everything from scratch. And then you need to work with older generation. It could be a younger generation, but it doesn't matter, with people who already have some experiences. And they may be very humble and they just don't, appear. They must be a very talented, fantastic person, but they are capable. So if Indigo children wants to perform their mission, they can, do that, with a collaboration, cooperative attitude, with humbleness and respect, and listen to the older generation, how they were building things, why they were building things, and then what was, the key point, how things were made, and what was the struggle and what was the limit, with no judgment, no criticism. And rather than, criticism, critical attitude and blaming attitude, or I am better attitude, if you can listen and then just make a suggestion, what about this and what about that, and then with a humble attitude to recreate something with other people, you would be very much successful and perform your mission. So the three key words is humbleness and learning and listening from other people, and then collaborate to rebuild something and upgrade it. Okay. So yeah, what did you think, and what did you resonate with? Then certain things maybe you didn't like to hear, and if you felt anger, you also need to have a look why you felt angry. Because anger means there must be something true in, what you heard, and then you might be triggered. And anger often comes with, manipulation or control, and you don't want to acknowledge what you heard, but you actually understand there is actually a truth in that. And you want to hide it, you may be feeling shameful or guilt, but you don't need to, because any generation, any starseed, no one is perfect, and then it's okay to, acknowledge own, limitation and own weakness. And then, just acknowledging your own weakness is a, fantastic thing, because if you don't acknowledge that, you're not going to be able to, move forward, and you don't know how to make a change and how to make things better. So things are always changing from yourself, from the inside, not others, not changing others. But if you make a change within you about your weakness to make it stronger, if you work on that, even, this simple small step is also making a, big step to, to the society, because you are showing to the world you are making a change within you. You are cultivating more aspect of light, and love. Then, the current modern society is fantastic, because the older generation, after the World War II, everything was, rebuilt, because so many things were, bombed and then, destroyed, and so many people died. But if you look around, buildings are there, houses are there, people are, enjoying their lives, eating, like nice, delicious food at the restaurant, and they're drinking, at pubs and bars, drinking beers and wine, maybe watching on a big TV screen, football, Arsenal match or Chelsea match, they're enjoying their lives. Then, because, there were people who made a contribution to create the current society, everything is available, very, abundant and, convenient, very modern, convenient way of lifestyle. So we don't have to go to the field to, get vegetables, because farmers, they make vegetables and someone delivers to a supermarket, and we just need to go to supermarket if we want to have food, and then just need to, cook. And if you are bothered to cook, you just need to go to a store, buy a sandwich, go to, KFC or McDonald's, and ready-made food is already, fast food is available. So this is very much, like modern convenient society we are so benefited from. However, the downside is everything has to be available right now, right now, right now, is leading to me. Self-centered, idea. That you always need to think about everything is made, from by other people's help and support, including yours. So no one can live alone in this society. So corporation, and then you are me, and I am you. The oneness consciousness is very important to understand, and especially indigo children is very critical, because they are now, like about from 20 years old to up to 59, or early, no, 49 to early 50 years old. They are called indigo children generation. So majority of the human population is indigo children right now. Then we need to cooperate each other. We need to support each other rather than, deceiving other people, telling lies, to other people, and trying to steal something from other people. You just need to respect other people's stuff, and then create your, like own things. And then, you need to learn from each other. Okay, so if you're indigo children or Blu-ray indigo bridge, what did you resonate, and then what did you, like? And it would be great if you can post your comment or your experiences as a Blu-ray indigo children or indigo kids. That would be great. Then this Galactic Federation Lightworker School, we have so many Starseeds coming to our school, and then we help them through psychic consultation, spiritual consultation, and meditation, energy work, and energy protection, and psychic development, and healer, training as well. Then you can come to my website, www.uk.gfls.co.uk, and have a look. And if you would like to make a query or book a session, please come to my, please send an email, and then, contact me. Then please post your comment, like the video, and subscribe to my channel. And if you do any of these activities, it would help to promote the website and spread the contents to awaken other starseeds. Hey, thank you for listening, and have a good day.